On the 4th of February 1970, a town named Pripyat was formed in Ukraine. Pripyat was, for the most part, a normal town, had a school, a couple of buildings, some nice housing. However, in 1986, all of that changed. Now, nuclear power plants are nothing new. A lot of countries have them. However, nuclear power is very unstable and very unpredictable, which requires a lot of manpower to keep it safe and to stop it from combusting if that were to ever happen, as nuclear radiation is extremely dangerous and can leave a fallout for many, many years after the initial damage. In the morning hours of April 26, 1986, a couple of employees tried rushing out of their workplace, as many of us do at the end of our shift. However, what followed costed them their lives as well as the lives of many others. Nuclear power plants tend to run off of reactors, and unfortunately the reactors used in Chernobyl were not of the safest variety. Any slight problem, such as a failed stress test, could cause a catastrophic malfunction, and that's unfortunately what happened on April 28th. What happened with Chernobyl was a power increase, one that no one had predicted. And unfortunately, as soon as the power increased to the reactor, it exploded.
One of the atomic reactors at the Chernobyl atomic power plant near the city of Kiev was damaged, and there is speculation in Moscow that people were injured and may have died. The Soviets may have been fairly quick to acknowledge the accident because evidence in the form of mild nuclear radiation had already reached beyond the Soviet borders to Scandinavia. We begin with ABC's Dean Reynolds.
Thankfully, everyone around them was very quick on the draw as firefighters arrived 2 minutes after the fire broke out, and the evacuation process started not too soon after. I'll go ahead and play the evacuation recording right now so you can hear what it was like.
Уважаемые товарищи, городской совет народных депутатов сообщает, что в связи с аварией на Чернобыльской атомной электростанции в городе Припяти складывается неблагоприятная радиационная обстановка. Партийными и советскими органами, воинскими частями принимаются необходимые меры. Однако, с целью обеспечения полной безопасности людей и в первую очередь детей, возникает необходимость провести временную эвакуацию жителей города в пункты Киевской области.
Unfortunately, the aftermath portion of this episode of Left for Rot will be a lot more somber than usual, because the first responders who courageously risked their lives to help put out the fire to save others unfortunately suffered many medical issues because of the various fire and radiation poisoning that have occurred to them. Also, the town is completely uninhabitable, although it is visitable for a few hours with zero adverse radiation effects. There are many urban explorers that go to check out the fairgrounds and go to check out various parts of the town, and I'm not doubting that it looks cool, but it's just a shame of what happened and how many people lost their lives in such an unfortunate incident for the town to get exactly how it is today. And even more unfortunate are the many Hollywood and video game adaptations of Chernobyl, such as Stalker and Chernobyl Diaries and other horror games that are trying to cash in on such an awful, awful occurrence. And as unfortunate as this whole thing is, thankfully radiation doesn't stick around forever. Maybe in a couple hundred years the land can be re-inhabitable. It's just such a darn shame of what happened. All of the people who are first responders are true heroes, and it's such a shame that such a minor inconvenience and a minor problem could create such a catastrophically damaging effect. However, we are going to continue on with the episode as normal. Chernobyl itself is quite the cool little abandoned town. There's an abandoned fairground, which was going to have a fair a few days before the disaster occurred, and there's a couple other cool abandoned areas, such as an abandoned school, a couple abandoned office buildings, and a whole abandoned city. And as I stated before, you can walk around Chernobyl and get tours for probably a few hours without feeling any effects whatsoever because the radiation has dropped so much in recent years. I guess that's what happens when you have a radiation explosion 30 years ago and it kind of dwindles down over time. While you can legally get tours through the government, good luck getting in yourself, because the Soviet Union guards this place like a frickin' prison. Seriously, there are multiple checkpoints and constant scouting of the area to make sure that no one's getting injured and no one's taking in too much radiation. As while being there for a couple hours may not do too much for you, if you sleep there overnight, yeah, you're gonna get radiation poisoning, sorry. Throughout this portion of the video, I've been showing you a lot of YouTube footage from a guy named Veritasium, I think. And I'm going to link his footage down in the description below as well so you can watch the full thing. But basically, I'm showing you snippets because he did such an amazing job exploring. I wanted to give him some credit and show off some footage of what the inside looks like. Because unfortunately, I haven't managed to score a plane ticket over to the Ukraine to check out Chernobyl myself yet. It's on my bucket list though. It's gonna be cool, hopefully. I'm sorry that I couldn't really bring too many new details to the story of Chernobyl. It's such a widely talked about abandoned area that I just had to cover it in this episode of Left for Rot. If you have any more questions on it, feel free to either ask me in the comments below and I'll try to answer them, or go ahead and do some research. It's a fairly interesting topic, if not completely sad. As unfortunate as Chernobyl was, I think we can all learn a lesson from it. At any point in a day, our lives could easily be taken from us so quickly that we wouldn't even know. So live each day to the best of your ability and live life to the fullest. And while we can all commend the first responders for being such courageous people and the victims for being such tragic losses, the town itself is just one more location that's unfortunately going to be left to rot. Before I go, I wanted to let you guys know about a cool website called kit.com. I get asked constantly what equipment I use for music, video games, etc. So I wanted to provide you guys with an answer as well as give you guys a link on where to buy said equipment since a lot of people are interested in it. So if you go to kit.com/DanRock, I have 3 different sections that you can check out. My video game kit, my vlogging kit, and my music kit, which have pretty much everything I use for all 3. They also have Amazon links to where you can buy the equipment I use, so you don't have to fuss around going to different stores or trying to find the exact keyword on Amazon or eBay. You can just click the link and buy it now. The link is going to be in the description, but it's also in my About tab if you're curious. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this episode of Left for Rot. If you're interested in watching other episodes, I'm going to have a box appear on screen within the last 20 seconds of the video, which is probably now, so I'm going to talk quickly. And one of the boxes is going to include my most recent episode of Left for Rot, aside from this one, and the other one's going to include my most recent upload. I'm sorry, I have to talk quickly. Bye, guys. Peace out. Take care.